Yo, what's up guys? Let's talk about United Front. So probably you guys have been playing United Front as well. And the first round we did was definitely a little bit of an unfair fight. I'm not sure if this is some kind of guild that's not really active anymore, or I'm not really sure. But let's look at what it is, how it works, maybe a few tips that I can give, but also towards the makers of Etheria Restart, what are a few things that I would like to see changed in this? So for fundamental base, I think it's kind of cool. You do only get 5 hits per week, so it's definitely not that much. Also, it's definitely enough to clean everything. If you do have a high enough success rate, the enemy guild's actually not that active. I don't think they're really fighting us that much. Yeah, okay, no, they're just getting a shit ton of victories. They're not clearing this one thing that much. It's just trying, like, for dear life to try to clear something like this, which is definitely a nasty team right there. If these two are, like, if this one is fast enough, this one follow up, and it's just insta-clear from there. So what is this with the defense in the first place? Well, it's pretty much just placing all units in towers. And actually a thing is that the moment you place them in, that is going to be locked in their environments. Like, this is the gear, this is the level, this is everything that they're using. If you switch anything throughout your normal gear, it does not matter for the thing you locked in until you replace that again. So you don't actually have to care about anything being without gear, because this is actually gear locked for the moment that you select it. I really did wish that they would also do the same thing for the Ether Arena, because in here your formation is very often it's like, oh, it's half geared right now, and I probably just had a loose in here. Like, I had a whole bunch of successes overnight because I put in the correct stuff, and then I switched it and I lost against this, which I think I can definitely win if I put like the good gear into it. So definitely one of those things they should be doing for either arena as well, because it just makes a lot of sense. To be honest, I think that PvP should have a complete different environment of all of the gear in the first place, because if I want to do PvE and I want to do PvP, I cannot do that at the same time. I have to switch back and forth gear a lot, because of course my best gear right now is used for both. But then talking back about the United Front, what are the good things about it? Well, first of all, I think it's a really nice environment where it's not super stressful and time consuming like it is in Siege and Summoners War. So I'm not familiar with how Epic 7 it does, so I'm just gonna talk from a background of Summoners War. In Summoners War, you take a tower, and then they retake the tower, and then after an hour you can retake the tower, and every time you have to put in like 5 new defense and that kind of stuff. Because of that, you have to have people leading the map, and then you have to have like good strategies for like when do you take over what tower, at what position. It's always good to, if you have a tower, to bring it down to like 1 defense left, so you can immediately take it on the right timing you want to take it, blah blah, whole bunch of strategy in there. In this case, it's a lot more of a simplified version. In this case, it's just like you have legit 48 hours and just clear the map with the amount of text you have. Whatever strategy there is, there's not really strategy for, well, there's a strategy for how you hit things, but there's no strategy for what you hit. And the thing is just, victory is the main thing that you aim for, but timing and everything, that whole part is out of the window. Whereas in Summoners War, especially in like high-level Siege, these guys are sitting 2 times 12 hours, well, max most of the time it's like 1 time 12 hour and a little bit more, like fully focused on like, okay, what is the map, what are we playing, how are we playing, what are we taking over, when are we taking it over. That is not the case in here, which is definitely a lot more relaxed to play. And I think it's also a good thing, because otherwise there would be too much pressure on these kind of guys. So what is the main thing in here? Well, it's just getting your successes in there. And let me give you a few tips of 2 things that I did as a mistake. And also a thing that I would like to see changed in the game in the first place. So first of all, if you go in right here, and then you see it's like, oh wait, something is not geared, you go out, you lose. And that happened to me in this clip right here. And then with the Rahu, if he had a shell and doesn't have the artisan right now, okay. If I go out right now, it doesn't count. Wait, that's defeat? So the chat actually did warn me for it, but there was a little bit of a delay, and I started reading the chat right after I went out. So why is that there? I think it's there to not be able to spot their shells that they have. Kind of makes sense, but then the part that doesn't make that much sense for me is, let's say I go in, and I don't know which units I did or did not already use. I can only check that the moment that I'm actually in a fight. And if I'm in a fight and you figured out like, wait, I actually don't have the right stuff geared, or I did already use a unit, that's kind of bad, right? So in that case, I would say it would be really nice if you can see all of the units that you currently already have used in here, for example, and you can at least scroll back and forth, see A, what's geared, B, what's already used. Those 2 things will really help you out for not making stupid mistakes like I did, of going in and be like, oh wait, this thing is not geared, let's leave. Oh wait, leave counts as a lose. Damn it. Then also a second thing, which I think is really recommended for pretty much all parts of the game, The moment that you go in with a unit that doesn't have gear on, you should get a notification saying like, hey, you're missing a shell or you're missing modules or anything like that. Otherwise, you get scenarios such as this. Because I think you kill regardless. Let's go double DPS on this. Oh, he moves in front of me. Wait. Ah, my Mio, is my Mio not geared? What? Wait, I was so sure my Mio was geared. Okay, I'm dead. I was so sure my Mio was geared, but that was the only one I did not click on. So yeah, once again, I checked the gear of the other 2 units, but I did not check the gear of the Mio, and the Mio was the one ungeared. That's why I would like to see notification, or even just if you see the cards of all of the units, just give me a card that says like, okay, exclamation mark, missing a shell, or like a cross or whatever, missing modules, anything. I don't care, but give us some hints of saying like, hey, you're going in with something and that is half geared, especially in the early game, you're switching out the gear back and forth a lot. So those are definitely 2 things that I think are definitely something that could be improved over here. I will showcase the hits that I also did that did actually succeed after this as well. I think a lot of people have been making mistakes on the lose as well. First of all, going in, going out, and losing that way. Also, the second one that I also just made and that I showcased you is going in with something ungeared. And then the third one is most likely underestimating your enemy. And that's the one that I have in the next clip. Okay, they are a little bit more tanky than I expected. But Hellkit is the damage dealer in this. Okay, not really any buffs to extend, so let's just hit this. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that was someone's main Leon, it seems. Let's actually focus this thing first, then. Yeah, that's definitely in this, you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be using, like, crazy stuff. Because that is a waste, but then again, you might run into people that put this one crazy good unit into stuff. And then you should have actually had something good in there. But I think we're still kind of good to go. Okay, at least we didn't get an armor break on you, which is kind of good. Supernova. Gives me the heal over time. Pretty proper healing. Let's not do that just yet. Okay, we win. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you can underestimate stuff and therefore lose. And it's always with those things, if you have like a limited amount of box that you can use, that's where you go wrong. But definitely the one where you go in, you go out, you lose. It's kind of like, I didn't start the battle just yet. I didn't actually lock in my team just yet. What if you disconnect while selecting your units or something like that? Or your game just crashes? That's kind of weird in my opinion. Plus you cannot really see what units you did or did not already use at that point, which I think is a pretty bad take as well. How is that on other games? Like Epic 7 or... I guess Honkai Star Rail doesn't have that. Yeah, I think it's 5 attempts for the whole war. From the looks of it. Yeah, and that one you could definitely see. I went for a switch on the Hellkit set. But in the end, that Leon was still one of those units that someone used in the early stage, has the best gear on it, and did actually one-shot my Hellkit. So, dangerous thing to do as well. But for that reason, it's really good to always switch gear. So, that's also why I think it is really nice if you could switch gear from this environment. Because right now, if I see like, oh, let's say I want to hit this, I have a team in mind, I have to go out, go out, go out, go over here, okay, go back, go back, go back, to actually get in there. That would be really nice if there's like an icon in here to actually right away switch things. Or also to check from here, it's like, ooh, I want to go into this one, but I'm not sure if I really have it geared right now. Go back, go back, go back, check. Okay, 1, 2, 3, yep, it's all good, okay. Go back, go back. Like, it's just too much of a tedious process. And definitely this is still like something that is in process that probably will do a bunch of quality of life updates. But I just wanted to point out the things that I saw that was like, that's not really that recommended for me. It looks a little bit weird in the first place. So also, if you have any other things that you would say is like, hey, I would like to see this or that as quality of life towards the guild battle, definitely let me know in the comments as well. Those things can always help out because I can also give those back towards XD Company just as feedback. So yeah, what is my recommendation for this in the first place? I would say don't be too hesitant on using your good units because especially you have 5 attacks, technically 15 units. probably are going to be hesitant, like, oh, I shouldn't use my Marvel right away, or I shouldn't use my Messiah right away, I shouldn't do this or that right away. I should be more cautious with the units that I have. Yes and no. I would actually recommend people for the first part, just use the best units you have on a semi-defense that kind of looks like scary-ish. Use those right away, because in the end, it's about you winning. And if you lose with some of your best units, it's a really big lose. It's better to lose at the end than lose at the start. That's what I would say. So for that reason, I would just recommend you use your good units. And sure, if you see a kind of defense that is nearly no geared, all level, like all 5 stars, like something like this, like barely anything, then it's sure you're not going to go in, and if the level is way lower, sure, you're not going to go in with your best stuff. But in general, it's best to use your best units first so you can get some guaranteed victories in. And then you can chill a little bit more and you can make a little bit more thoughts of like, okay, I only have like 6 units left to hit with. I don't have that many more units. Maybe I should build up another unit. That could be a thing. Or maybe I should just wait for like a perfect moment where I see it's like, oh, this actually looks really weak. Let me hit that with my worst units. Because in the end, I think for defense placements, what I have seen for, well, our guild did, if they just cannot break through the front line, in the end, they have to break through the front line. So if you put the best 3 defenses in here, they can waste a lot of attacks already. Because at the start of a guild war, people are always going to be hitting for the people that are playing at the moment and they just want to get their attacks in. They will have to attack the 3 front lines, for sure. It's like one of the 3 on the front line. Either one of those 3, they're gonna hit a lot. So if you put your best stuff in here, well, it's pretty much what happened over here to ours. This one, they couldn't clear and it has 12 victories. This one, they couldn't clear and has 12 victories. And this one, they couldn't clear and has 12 victories. And it's just the same team over and over. I think this is also going to be the very meta team for Guild Battle at the start. Because it's just, it has everything. It has attack buff. It has like an insane damage boost into a Messiah, one-shotting everything. Definitely ways to counter it, but it's definitely also super scary to face against. So if you have a bunch of those teams in there and they cannot break through the front line, yeah, that's where you're gonna get a W for sure. So that is my recommendation for the guild battle. Once again, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or anything as well. I definitely do think that this mode is pretty good. It's just a bunch of free rewards. It will take a little bit of time to even out that the good guilds are at the top and the guilds that are not as tryhards are facing one another, because right now it's fully at random, like who's facing who, because everyone has the same exact amount of points. So right now there's not too much strategy, as in the strategy is like just depends on who you're fighting against. But definitely keep in mind the tips. Do not go in and go out, because that is a lose. And make sure before you go in, you already checked your gear. That is very important as well. 2 more strips I can give for strategizing. First one is for offense. Every offense you do, you should be using your best gear, your fastest gear. Because every offense you do, you can completely switch out the whole gear. So if you make these presets over here, so let's say you make a preset module, this one, and you say like fastest gear, you can actually use the 3 same sets for every offense you do if they fit on multiple characters. So definitely your best damage set can go on multiple best damage dealers. And that way you make your offense really a lot easier. And I think offense should therefore also definitely have the upper hand over defense in general. Then again, tip that I can give for defense, there's some special towers that do actually give you an extra buff based on like which tower it's placed on. So you can read those all in here. You have like the few anomaly towers in that. You have a few special towers in there. So if you place a defense that's then also really excelling based on that extra buff that you have over there, that is definitely a recommendation that I can give towards defense also being really strong. But then again, I think that offense in general has the upper hand, because your defense is locked in one position, and the moment your defense is taken down, you pretty much lose that gear set as well. But in offense, even if you lose an offense, in the next round, you can still use your best offense in the next thing too. So you have a lot of options where you can just repeat and repeat your best set, which is maybe a little bit too strong. I'm not really sure about that. Should they maybe make it where it's locked as an environment, like the moment that your guild battle starts, both your offense and defense is locked in? I'm not really sure. Maybe it would be a little bit too much, because if you then miss the time window, it will be kind of bad. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. Also, one thing which you do have in Summoner's War, which is pretty nice. Let's say I have in mind to hit this one, but I go out, I check my gear is correct, I go back in, and then I see, hey, someone else is already hitting this. It's a little bit annoying as well. So another suggestion I could give to this is make a, like I'm targeting this one. So you don't go in just yet, but you say it's like, hey, I reserve this one as I want to be hitting it later, but I first want to double check my gear, because double checking the gear I think will prevent you 50% of your losses. Because that's definitely a thing I could see going very wrong. And as I mentioned, in here, it would be super nice if they just show like a box of what units are already used, what is the gear, and let me re-gear them as well, because that's definitely needed in here. But then let's also show that the offenses that I did do in succession, and like I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit of like a gear gap, level gap kind of stuff going on. If I do this, it's guaranteed to win. Because I heavily outspeed. Wait, why does it start on auto? That's also a thing. Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, should have won that the first time around. Oh, wait, if you lose, you can actually use them again? Oh, did not notice that. I thought if you lose, you also lose them. But yeah, the thing is you have to have everything geared up at the same time-ish, which is definitely a more difficult factor. It's 5 attacks. Did they already... Is this already 5? Yeah, no, that is 5. That is 5 already. That's kind of short, though. But yeah, I did mess up too. That is true. Okay. Yeah, if you don't mess up, it's relatively easy. I messed up hard by having one ungeared round. So that's all for the guild battle. Definitely will be doing more videos on this the moment we get to a higher level and there's more like strategizing in there and you see more meta teams and then like how to counter the meta teams and those kind of things. But that is definitely for future videos. Guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. You know where to find me, YouTube and Twitch. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like these videos and see you as always in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.